Uh, Missy Jenn is always making me chuckle. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. Yeah. I know I should be on my way to Las Vegas. And by the time many of you see this, I will be on my way to Las Vegas. Sometimes I like to pre-record some little vignettes to put a smile on your face or share something I think is pretty doggone cool, especially in a world that's pretty bleak all of a sudden. Now, when I was growing up, one of the things that I always wondered about, I was always somebody that enjoyed sports very much. And I was always fascinated by listening on radio. TV was never a huge part of my sports upbringing. It was always radio. And I remember listening to Colts games in the 60s. And my father would be screaming and foaming at the mouth, throw the bomb, John Unitas. Man, we had some glory days. Baltimore Colts football, but I always wondered what would happen when the quarterback gets hurt. Then the backup quarterback gets hurt. In this case, Earl Morrall. What would happen in that case? Who would step in and be quarterback? Well, I found that the great Hall of Fame tight end John Mackey stepped in one game and acted as quarterback. And I remember it was a very, very interesting thing when you lose both of your starters. Well, over last weekend, there was a really astounding situation in sports that set so many records. It was unbelievable. The Toronto Maple Leafs were playing at home against the Carolina Hurricanes. And as fate would have it, the first string goaltender for Carolina got hurt. He got pulled from the game. Then the second string goalie went in, got hurt, got pulled from the game. Well, what do you do in a situation like that? You're the visiting team. You're playing in the arena. Both of your starting, your second string goaltenders have gone out. You turn to your emergency designated goaltender. And I did not know this, but each NHL team has 3 potential emergency goaltenders that they can call on to come into the game. Now, the astounding thing is, when they called David Ayers to come in and become goaltender, David Ayers had never played in a pro hockey game. In fact, he was a Zamboni driver. That's the little chooch that goes around and cleans the ice between periods. He was a Zamboni driver for Toronto's minor league team. But he was a designated backup goaltender, and he had also practiced regularly with some of the minor league teams. So it's not like he'd never stepped on the ice before. But what was truly amazing about his performance was something that kind of escaped other people's notice. And David Ayers was not affiliated with the Carolina Hurricanes team. In fact, he earned his chops and his pay by working with the Toronto Maple Leafs minor league organization. But he is a backup goaltender, and he was at the game that night. In other words, he was playing for the opposition team as a goaltender. Now, you might think to yourself, well, what a great opportunity to throw the game and just deliver a win for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And some of the fans might have felt that way when David Ayers stepped in at the end of the second period and he let the first 2 shots go through as goals. Well, you can imagine the Carolina fans were probably foaming at the mouth. Man, this guy is just going to throw the game. Well, what happened next is legendary. In that third period, there were 7 shots on goal, and he stopped every single one of them. And he became a hero, not to his home-affiliated team of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but the Carolina Hurricanes. They've even made a jersey, an official jersey for him, and are selling that online. Can you imagine that? Well, he went on to set other records too. He was the oldest rookie to ever start in any of the 4 major league sports: football, hockey, baseball, and basketball. Okay, he also played for some 28 minutes on the ice. and established himself as a winner as the Carolina Hurricanes went on to win the game. What an amazing thing to smile about in the world, and something that I found really fascinating. When your backup's backup gets hurt, then what do? Call David Ayers. I'm going to leave a link to the in the description box below. And what a guy, 42 years old, to step on the ice. He really had some cojones, man, to stand and face those 80, 90-mile-an-hour shots whizzing into the net. What a winner. Anyway, guys, see you on the road to Las Vegas.